Good day and welcome to InFocus Town Talk. I'm Julie Thompson, and we have today a very special new guest with us from the town of Kingston, the new Town Administrator Keith Hickey. Welcome, Keith.
Thanks, Julie. Thanks for having me.
Thank you for joining us on such short notice, and you really just started your position here. Now, you have been in town management of town governments for a long time, since over 20 years. You have been town manager in Bedford, Merrimack, and Salem, New Hampshire, and then most recently in Winchton, Massachusetts. Can you tell the viewers a little bit about how you got to this place you are in today?
Sure. As you mentioned, I've been in municipal government for quite some time. As sadly I've gotten older, I've learned to appreciate really what's important in a community. And when I saw the position open in Kingston, it really intrigued me for a couple of reasons. First and foremost, it's a location, wanting to be down near the water and the ocean and whatnot, and near the Cape. But more importantly, as I started looking into the community itself, some of the challenges that Kingston is facing and was facing when they were looking to hire a town administrator were issues that I was familiar with and had been through in the past. Walking my way through the interview process, I found that the community of Kingston, the people I was meeting and interviewing with, really had a real sincere desire to try to improve the community and try to work together to address some of the issues that Kingston had been dealing with and anticipates dealing with into the future. So really thought the community and the people would be a great fit for me. And I look forward to being here for a long time and hopefully potentially retire here at the end of my career. So I'm excited to be here. Everybody's been fantastic to work with and to communicate with so far. And I look forward to expanding the number of people I get an opportunity to run into in the near future.
Well, that's wonderful, and welcome. We welcome you with open arms, and anything PACTV can do to assist you, obviously we are here to help. The first order of business for all the town managers that I've been speaking to is the COVID-19 vaccine. Now, just to give a little brief update, there's a lot of confusion with people on, do I get a vaccine in my town? Do I wait for a regional? Do I go to one of these big state super sites? And the truth of the matter is it all depends on how much vaccine is available. Can you talk about for the residents of the town of Kingston, what are the best practices right now for if you're in a qualifying group to get your vaccine?
Well, you mentioned it is confusing, and people are trying to roll out new sites everywhere. And I can tell the community that at this point, members of the fire department and members of the health department have been working with the state of Massachusetts to allow for vaccines to be distributed by fire department personnel within the town of Kingston. All the paperwork and information that is required by the state to be submitted by an interested group, such as the fire department or the town of Kingston, has been submitted to the state. At this point, we are waiting for the state to validate our information and provide vaccines to the community so members of the fire department can administer that vaccine to the group of people who are eligible to receive that as soon as possible. I don't have a date at this point on when that's going to start in earnest. I can tell you that, excuse me, that members of the fire department and members of Brewster Ambulance administered the vaccine to about 47 residents yesterday on Hillcrest Road. Walgreens will be administering is administering the vaccine today on Friday, February 5th, to residents of the Wingate area. So we're starting where we can. We do have some corporate assistance to help us continue the administration of that vaccine. In addition to that, the Kingston collection, we're looking to try to establish a regional vaccine area. We're, again, working with the state and the community of Plymouth to make sure that all the paperwork and necessary information is there. so we can start receiving vaccines. And if people have the opportunity to go there for a shot, they can go there as well. So I guess my best advice would be to try to get wherever you can get if you are eligible to receive the vaccine, and have that vaccine administered as quickly as you can. Hopefully, it's going to be as convenient as coming to a location in Kingston. But if not, you may have to travel a bit to have that vaccine administered sooner rather than later.
Excellent advice. And as we've been telling for all of our towns, the mass.gov/vaccine, if you go to that, it gives you pretty much daily, hourly, it's updated as to where you can go, who is now taking reservations for vaccines. Obviously, you'll have to prove that you're in the group that is now qualified to get the vaccines. But you're right, Keith. It's if you can get one, you should get one. And otherwise, the town will do everything they can to put together a program for the town residents who have not been able to get one otherwise. So let's go on to what you're looking at the next couple of months within the town of Kingston. You're going to be having elections. You're going to be having a town meeting. What are your objectives, or what are you looking at as the big items you need to be working on?
Well, excuse me, this time of year, obviously, we're dealing with the fiscal 2022 budget. It's been compiled and presented and given to the Board of Selectmen and to the Finance Committee. I'll start having conversations with the Finance Committee, as will department heads, as early as next week, and work our way through the proposed fiscal 22 budget. I've also been meeting with capital planning committee members to identify and make a recommendation for a capital improvement plan for fiscal 22 and the next 4 years after that. So obviously a lot of budgetary conversations will take up quite a bit of time over the next few months. Town meeting is scheduled at this point for Saturday, May 22nd. We're hoping that with people's continued work on trying to reduce the impact of COVID, that the number of cases will continue to drop as it's been doing now since the first of the year. And with the administrating of the vaccine, we'll be able to have a live in-person town meeting, potentially at the Kingston collection again. That site hasn't been determined. I don't think it definitively yet, but certainly we want to make sure that anybody who can or has an interest in coming feels comfortable to attend that town meeting and voice their opinions on all of the different warrant articles that will be brought forward that day for consideration. Beyond that, it'll be just a matter of getting myself a little more comfortable with the community. I'm trying to get out and meet organizations, groups where I can, so people can put a face with a name and start establishing some really important relationships with some of the business communities and some of the volunteer committees as well, so we can all try to work together to improve and address the needs of the community.
Right. And also, your town is unusual in the towns we cover, in that your school system has both your own town school system for elementary, and then you're part of a regional school district for junior and senior high. Have you been able to delve into that at all? Mm-hmm. And what will your interface with that look like in the future?
So the superintendent of schools has been kind enough to email back and forth with me a couple of times. We're hopefully going to meet sometime in person next week to, again, establish a working relationship and hopefully have that foster into a really strong working relationship. Obviously, the schools are a critical resource for our community. Residents who are looking to relocate into the Cape area are going to look at, in part, how the school system operates and how well they function. We want to make sure that the town and the school department have a good relationship and we're meeting the needs of their department to the best of our ability. So that is an important relationship. We've started to have one, but hopefully in the next couple of weeks that'll improve a bit.
Sure, and there's so many things that you need to play catch up on, just learning about the history and what's going on and what needs to be done in the future. And I don't envy you that process, because there's a lot to learn about any town, but you have a good amount of experience to be able to do this. Now, there's two big, huge projects that are ongoing, the Amazon project and the Kingston Collection apartment project. You probably don't know a lot about them, but I'm sure you're well aware that they're happening. Is there anything that residents should know about in the next couple of months that are happening with those two projects?
Well, I'm not sure. I think a lot of the, obviously a lot of the planning process has already been completed. Both projects have been through the town boards and received their approvals. It's now up to town staff to make sure that both projects are constructed according to the plans. Any issues that people may have with aspects of the construction project should certainly reach out and let us know what those concerns are, and we'll try to address those as best as we can. But both projects, I think, will have brought jobs and will continue to bring jobs into the community, which is a great thing for the community. And then, again, moving forward, we're hoping that the employees of both of those locations and the residents at the apartment complex will, spend some of their money in the local businesses to improve their situation, I guess I could say, after probably a really challenging year or so with COVID. So I think both projects are exciting, and we're hoping to have them be good partners in the future.
Yep, excellent. And the governor did lower some restrictions starting on Monday. For example, restaurants can have 40% now instead of 25% of their capacity. Can you just put that word out there to all your Kingston residents, how important it is, though that's wonderful and it's great for our restaurants, but that we have to stay vigilant again?
No question. I mean, certainly, these with the reduction in our active COVID cases is fantastic, and we're headed in the right direction, and hopefully at some point in the future we'll be looking back at this as a tough year, but something that we've been able to put behind us. But certainly it would be nice to be able to get out and get some sort of normalcy back in our lives, and whether you like it or not, I guess at this point, unfortunately, it's going to continue to be important to be vigilant. Wash your hands, wear your masks, try to social distance from each other as best you can, things of that nature, because that's a major reason why the governor has been able to lift some of these restrictions. We're excited to see that happen. We'd like to see people start getting out and about again, and hopefully in a month or so, the weather starts turning a bit and people get outside and start enjoying themselves outside again. I know in Kingston, the Board of Selectmen closed the townhouse and a couple of other town buildings in town to residents and visitors, with instructions to have staff take a look at where things stand a month from then. So next week we're going to look at where things stand. Certainly they're a heck of a lot better than they were a month or so ago, and we're hopeful that we're going to reopen the townhouse to customers, as well as potentially the senior center and the recreation department as well. So we'll be meeting on Monday. We will be notifying everybody shortly after that what the decision is, but it all looks as though things will return back to normal and people will be able to come into the townhouse to conduct their business rather than doing it over online. I would just again remind everybody, like you just mentioned, that when you walk in the door, you need to have a mask on. If you don't, we'll provide one for you, but you have to have a mask on when you come in.
Right. Absolutely. Okay. And if people need to get in touch with you, your contact information is on the town website. We welcome you. We will, PACTV is here for you anytime you need to make any kind of announcements, or if you need to have a special on anything that's going on in Kingston, we will be more than happy to help you with that. So thank you for joining us. Again, the new Town Administrator Keith Hickey for the town of Kingston. This has been Julie Thompson. Good day.